Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. We have got a few things to cover off today. I'm going to load my phone up. I normally use the laptop, but I just think I'll, got the same thing on my phone, so it should be a bit more straightforward. Cheers as always for tuning in. It's got to be like episode 6 of this little runway and reality series, so we'll be talking about all sorts. For those of you who watched the video before, or the videos before, this is a bit more of an informal sit down chat, whereas the Sunday videos I do are I say a bit more polished. They're not really. A little bit more editing goes into them, where this is really is a free-for-all, but I'll try and stay on track, and I'll try and not be too rambly. I'll do my best. So yeah, I really don't like to get too dramatic through thumbnails or whatever, but I have got a bit of a thank you to someone. I won't name who they are in case they don't want mentioning, but they are blooming awesome, and hopefully it's quite clear from the thumbnail, but I hadn't realised it at the time. But this astute individual who had been watching all the videos, so thumbs up and kudos to them, had noticed that I had a mark on my nose, and really at that time I hadn't noticed it. And then I'm not like a hypochondriac, but I can worry about stuff. And then instinctively I went back through the YouTube videos. I initially started off looking at some of the thumbnails, and then I watched a few of the videos themselves, because believe it or not, I'm not too vain a character. I don't do there's not many selfies. I'm not massively sociable. So the only reference points around my bloody nose are these videos, really. So I had a look at them, and I thought, oh yeah, okay, there is some in there. Go and see for yourself if you want. And it kind of, albeit small, and more kind of prominent, came out of nowhere, really, over since the last kind of 4 or 5 weeks. And when I did notice it, I was just like, okay. I just spoke with my wife. She was having a look, and she was like, but maybe it's just a spot or something like that. And it's going to sound really bad, but I went on ChatGPT or Gemini, one of them, not exclusive to a particular AI agent. So I went on one of them and actually uploaded the photos, and it was just like, okay, keep an eye on it. Maybe it'll go away, but just be careful. I think at that stage, either in my mind or maybe the AI agent had quoted look, leave it 7 days. And I'd had a cold. Again, if you've watched these videos, you'd know that. So with colds and all the rest of it, if you're a bit run down, you can get spots, blemishes, etc. So, not that I'm not GP material. Clearly, I haven't got the brain cells. So I thought, oh, maybe it's one of them. And so I checked it every day. I was just check, and the thing didn't go away. And then I was kind of umming and ahhing, shall I book an appointment with the GP? And that was like an exam in itself, just trying to work the blooming system. That's a separate whingy video, that really is. But to be fair, they came back really promptly, like, look, we can't, we'd see you tomorrow. They literally send you out a link, and then you go on, and then you pick the date, and the earliest date was the day after. So I thought, that's not too bad, bearing in mind it's probably mid-morning I was looking at appointments. So next day I thought, well, that's fine. And then I think I woke up the next day, and in my mind it looked slightly better, and I was just, they're just going to think I'm wasting their bloody time, So I went along, and to be fair, I haven't had a bad experience with that surgery at all. The GP, the lady who I hadn't previously seen for anything else, don't go there too often, was really spot on, and I may excuse the pun, that really wasn't pun unintended, but she was just like, yeah, we need to, if you got any pictures, and I showed her the YouTube. She may be subscribing, she may be watching. I doubt it. But was going through it. She was just like, look, need to keep an eye on it. If you had any other, issues, and I kind of haven't. If you're a bit of a sun worshipper, which which I'm really not. It sounds bad, but not that outdoorsy. But she was saying, look, if if you've been just over time, over the years, or even holidays from years and years ago, if you expose yourself to sun, it can just catch up with you. And the nose in particular is quite like thin layers of skin, so it's a bit more prone. So essentially what it is actinic keratosis, aka solar keratosis, which isn't cancer, but it carries a risk if you leave it. Sometimes referred to as a precancerous thing. If you leave it, then there's a likelihood it could kind of convert over, so you're better getting shot of it. So in order to get a shot of it, I've got like this strong formula, this pasty stuff I put on my nose, and I wake up the next day, and it just looks like my nose is about to fall off, and then miraculously during the day, it kind of gets better. So I'm about a week in a few days, no, it must be like a week and a half. I think it'll be 2 weeks this Friday. Today's Wednesday. And the first few days it looked worse, and then at the moment I think it's looking a bit better. But she's measured it. I've got to go back and get it checked. So I know this has nothing to do with financial matters or hustles. So apologies for that. But I'm saying it for two reasons. I think one reason is really if they're watching, just to say thank you to the person that commented and messaged me via the old Instagram. So that's really, I really appreciate it. Otherwise, I might not have noticed, and who knows, stuff could get worse, could deteriorate, etc., etc. And then the second reason, it's a sunny day. So I'm being absolutely crap at it, and I don't really wear, in the past, maybe this is the issue. I haven't really worn like sun lotion or stuff. I wear like a bit of a cap, but that's because I'm a balding friar tuck git. When I cover my bonce up as much as I can. But I haven't been wearing sun lotion. So the sun rarity. The sun it's actually a really nice day today. So if you're not practiced in the sun lotions, please do so. So that's that. Let's move on. So Sunday's video was the one around gutting my budget and getting to under 2K. So that's been really well received, which is great. But what is even better is just the amount of comments and the challenge. I probably set myself up a little bit by the thumbnail, just having roast me on this one, or roast my budget. So there was a lot of comments, a lot of debate in there, a bit disagreement between not me and people, but I think between some of the people commenting. So, but healthy and constructive. So let's be clear on that. So to be honest, that is for me the perfect type of video, because people are kind of engaged. There's a bit of banter, and then something off the back of it. So that's something off the back of it. This is, and I do need to, it's really geeky, but kind of tighten up a list of actions basically, because there's lots of points, and thank you for everyone that commented and watched, but lots of points on there that I'm going to do something about. And I think some of them, a lot of them are quite just straightforward, but maybe just too close to stuff you just don't pick up on it, or something I didn't really have the information for. There were some quite extreme ones, so it's quite difficult with those, because you go pick on one, why don't you get rid of your car? The spend isn't that much, so use taxis, use Uber, etc., etc. So I wonder, and I do respond to every comment, but equally some may think, I'm sounding a bit like defensive. But I think the line with that one was, we don't have Uber in the area. I do use them for shopping, but if it was just shopping alone, then fine, and then we'd probably be cheaper to get delivery on the shopping, and if you were going to get rid of the car completely. But my son, as I mentioned before, he's got fairly complex needs, so we have quite a few appointments here at the local hospital. We also drive up to London, transporting him around as well, because he's got very limited mobility, so lucky wheelchair and stuff like that. So and it's not like it's a polo. I don't know if I mentioned it before. So even to get the wheelchair in, I'm dropping the seat. So it's not like I've spent loads of money on a big car. So I think that's one of the only ones where I can see the argument, but under these current circumstances, that just isn't an option for us. So yeah, thoughts about your insurances. A lot of people just saying they just put money to one side unless it's a bit of a mandated insurance, such as car insurance. A lot of people seem to part the money and then say boiler, which I think is one I am going to stop, as opposed to putting money into as a premium, put it to one side, and then in the case of the boiler, if you need an engineer out, then you've got some money to contribute towards that, and any fixes, food shopping as well. So we're not around like tomorrow. I was going to do the food shop tomorrow Thursday, but we can't, so I'm going to go tonight, and I'm going to brave the Audi and see what that's all about. So I've done my list. I've had if anyone wants it, message me over Instagram. But I had this really weird back and forth again with AI about, okay, I want to visit a certain amount of, not too many supermarkets, ideally like 2, at most like 3 places where I can get good food, and it's not, and broader than food, like toiletries as well, washing machine stuff, dishwasher bits, washing up liquid, blah, 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 loo roll, and all of that stuff. And it was just almost just give me, not just cheap, but like that optimum line of their good value, and decent quality. So that was quite interesting. And then I said, look, can you just thin it down? So I've currently thinned it down. We'll see how we end up. And this will probably be a very unexciting video it will end up at. Who knows? But I think I'm going to get down to like Aldi and Home Bargains. And maybe Iceland, albeit a lot of the Iceland stuff seems to be covered within Aldi, so they might be the 2 that I start with. But geeky, bit like kind of 15 to 20% discount on reduction through the forecasting calculations on what I'm paying at the moment through Tesco. So looking forward. So that's tonight's mission. Like I say, I'll probably do a video on it. Why are you people watching this stuff? It's crazy. Someone made a really good point. They were like, you pay for these things annually, and then you accrue money, every month. So when these bills come in, you pay them off. Buildings insurance is like a good one, but they were like, there's some where you are still paying them monthly. So for those ones, I'm now converting them over. So I'm saving the money up, but then just doing a bigger sum on an annual basis. But that bigger sum is less than, the 12 times the monthly costs what they were. So for example, for security, we do use Ring. We've got like a few cameras, and I was doing $7.99 a month. You can do $79.99 a year. And so that's what I mean. So flipping to annual and then getting a reduction. Probably this Sunday I might go through them and just do a bit of maybe the video will just be the actions and which, the ones I'm taking forward. So that's probably all I've got to say about that. Cheers as always. That's done really well in YouTube terms for me, mini me. Really pleased with that. It's just good video. It's good to get. You guys and girls are great. Leaving comments and all the rest of it, but sometimes it's quite difficult to get a view of feedback of okay, what future topics would people like to see, and I can only really tell if video completely bombs. That clearly isn't something that people would want to look at. So that's it. Yeah, I'm trying to get my head around the YouTube thing, learning slowly but surely. Quickly tell me. I always touch on this. And cheers. A few people actually commented, so it's a good thing to throw in. But like mental health, again, it's been another good week. It's probably similar tones or sentiments to what I said last week around. I think Easter's quite good because my wife supports schools, so she's off whenever there's school holidays. My son's at school, so he's obviously off. So it's been like, albeit we've been at home, it's been almost like a bit like a family holiday. Like today, the sun was nice. Went out for a bit of a drive, bit of a stroll, done a few things. So that's been really nice, and it's kind of got out of, good to mix up the routine every now and again. So yeah, family times, they're all good. Finances and like hustles, yeah, new tax year. Everyone's getting really, really excited on the Instagram. I was getting a bit excited. Oh, it's coming. Everything's resetting. You know, the ISA stuff. Da, da, da. So I have already flipped some money to make the most of the allowances, like resetting. I flipped quite a bit of money out of the savings into my trading 212 ISA account. It's cash ISA. I do need to think about stocks and shares, whether I not want to do that. I'm jury's out at the moment on that, just because some of the money is redundancy money, and I still like that I can have some flexibility to pull that money if I need to. And I know you can pull money in the stocks and shares, but at the moment it's so volatile. If it goes down and then I need it and I'm pulling it out prematurely at a lower, losing value, probably going to beat myself up about it. So I can see myself staying with the cash ISA for a bit of time. Opened up, it's not going to have much money in it, but like a SIPP, like a self-invested pension plan, scattered around. I went for AJ Bell in the end. The fees, again, it was Gemini, it was another AI conversation, and then using that to then have a look and look at the sites themselves. But I was looking at Hargreaves Lansdown, I think like Barclays, and AJ Bell, and went with AJ Bell. Regardless who you're with, there's under a certain amount of income you get, there's a contribution that the government will top up, and I think it's 25%. So I put like £500 of my redundancy money just in there, and then there'll be like, I think it's 25% will get added on top of it. It's still showing as 500 at the moment, and I put it in like moderately cautious funds, so nothing too volatile, but obviously it's managed via the fund itself is an AJ Bell managed fund. And I think they now, because I set this up a couple of days ago, I think they now go to crumbs, maybe HMRC, I'm not entirely sure. They go to the government, and I think there'll be a bit of to and fro, and then hopefully the 25% will then get added in. I think there'll be a delay of a few weeks. I thought, why not make a bit of money, and it's kind of for the future, obviously. And in terms of the hustles, being a bit distracted in a good way through family, but last couple of days I've been trying to get more and more back into some of the online things that work. So like a lot of user testing, user crowd, predominantly Outlier AI. So that's been good, and the work's still there. It's quite consistent. $19, I think it's about $19 an hour. Gets paid out today, in fact, every Wednesday it gets paid out. So and you can turn the tap off, turn the tap on, turn the tap off when you've got time. You don't have to do it for a certain amount of time. You could do it like 20 minutes in the morning, and then an hour at midday, or a bit in the evening. And I was having a conversation with an awesome person on Instagram this morning, who might be watching. If you are, hey, and thanks for all the advice. But yeah, just saying it's a good way to make money, and it's kind of reliable, and you're not we're not waiting around for stuff, and it's not like surveys where you either get a few pennies or you're not eligible, or it goes a bit wrong. So Outlier is still really good. Check out the hustles video I did if you're interested in that piece. And then weekly shout outs. There's so many good people out there. I'm still to find. If you've got any recommendations, put them in the comments. That'd be awesome. I've found a few on YouTube, but probably not as many on YouTube as I have in Instagram. I don't know if it's just because it's the way that maybe Instagram's better at finding, recommending, suggesting people, but there's lots of great pages to follow on Instagram, and a few on YouTube, but I'm just, let me know if you've got any recommendations. So the Instagram, do one shout out this week. It's Instagram one. It's Life with Lauren Christine. I'll put a link in the description to this video. Looking at my phone, because otherwise I wouldn't do it wouldn't do it justice. So I mean, her main focus is paying off debt. She's saving to get married. Her weddings are expensive. When I got married, even more expensive now. That was a few years ago. I've got a key anniversary, 20 years, I think, 20 years this year. Yeah, 20 years. Confident it's 20 years. Sorry, back to this one. So so she's saving for the wedding. What do I like? Real transparency. This is probably a common trend, but where people are really open around their numbers. So in this case, what she owes in terms of debt, but how much she's paying off, how much is she making through side hustles, what particular side hustles, what's good, what's bad. The media is very good as well. So it's a really healthy mix of, there's posts with, I'm real geeky, but just all the financials and nice tables and cool formatting. But then overlaid with some videos, some talk to camera stuff. So I love the fact how open she is. Love the fact, there's some tougher times. I think with saving can be like highs and lows, and she was saying that she's got a few things coming up. She's trying to save these pay off these debts, but she's got life events and things happening, so she can see herself paying out for them. So that might have an impact on the savings and putting money towards the debt and stuff like that. So we're having a little back and forth, but I just love the fact it's not sugar coated. A lot of stuff, and I got a lot of time for so many people. For some things I look at and I think, oh my god, it's so sugar coated. So if you do this, you'll be like a millionaire, or I paid this off in this and da 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 da. And I think sometimes you need to see the reality and not to sugarcoat stuff, to see the roller coaster, the ups and downs. For me, I find it a bit more relatable. So I hope I've done it justice. Maybe I haven't, but go and check out that if you're on Instagram. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description. Life with Lauren Christine, but massive thumbs up to that one. And coming up. So I think Sunday's video, very likely, unless I have a complete change of heart, will be the actions off the back of last Sunday's roasting video with my outgoings, getting them under 2K. What I'm taking forward with that. And if you fab viewers, cheers as always. Let me know in the comments if there's stuff you'd like me to focus on. Probably a long overdue one around where my head's at. And those of you who've watched a few of the vids know that I was made redundant, done 25 plus years in financial services, and the more I have this pause, I'm just side hustling, and our outgoings have been stripped right back. I'm thinking, do I want to go back into banking where I think it's it's a bit of ageism. I get back in time, maybe I'll be knocked out again, or AI will do what I did. So I think it might be time for something else. But what that something else is a little ... but perhaps equally getting slightly clearer. I've got some ideas, so that'll be one for another video. And hopefully it's just under the 25-minute mark, there or thereabouts. Take care. And I didn't, sorry, I should have said it wasn't a tea or coffee because the sun's out. I do drink other drinks, but Vimto is the choice for today. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.